Hey everybody, it's Angelo, and welcome to Early Access Podcast, episode 94. I hope everybody's having a good week. I know, oh God, I got the fucking hiccups, and I have to record the podcast, so please bear with me. I will try my best to not hiccup consistently, but I can't really control them. I hope everybody had a good week, and tonight just turned out really good. The Philadelphia Flyers beat the Capitals 4-3 in overtime. And I'm super excited about that. It's pretty amazing. They lost the last 3 games in a row. They're rebuilding, so they're not the best team right now. But beating the number 1 team in the league is a pretty big confidence booster going into the. Jesus, these hiccups are gonna kill me. Going into the All-Star break coming up here. But this isn't a hockey podcast, it's a video game podcast. So I didn't play much. I do have a game in the hopper coming up. Let me double check the game real quick. Because I do want to give him a shout out because that wasn't it. Is this one? Oh, that wasn't it. It wasn't Dinocide, I just played that. Oh, Tricone Lab. Here, I'll give you a little rundown on it real quick. So, Tricone Lab, I talked about a while ago. It's a super interesting game. They got in touch with me, actually, not too long ago. Fairly recently, because I guess they had found out that I had spoken about the game. So it's a logic puzzle game, where you're like manipulating organisms. I thought it was super interesting. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's got 25 reviews. They're all positive. I will be getting a first look up soon though. I just haven't had a chance to do it. I've been pretty busy at work because all the snow. I work outside, so it's just been a lot of long days for me. So I haven't really gotten a chance to get a video up for that. But I will be getting into it soon. So for the time being, go check it out, or just wait for my first look and see what you think about that once I put it up. Shit, God, I hate all these sidebar ads. So the big news that has come out about games, especially Steam games in general, is. So last week I talked about how Five Nights at Freddy's World came out. I don't know if I did. It might not have been something I was looking to talk about. No, and if I did, I just don't remember. So Five Nights at Freddy's World is another game from Scott Cawthon. So it's his 5th or 6th game. In less than 18 months, that's utter garbage. I'm just not a big fan of the games, the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I think they're pandering to to everybody. I did talk about this, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. So if you want to listen to my opinions on all that stuff, go check the last podcast out. So Five Nights at Freddy's World was like this RPG based on like all the characters from that game, which apparently is just different variations of like 5 characters. It's literally just like the 5 characters, then different versions of them. There's not really that much to it. However, the day after the podcast, so the day it went up actually, this past Monday, a couple days ago, it was announced that it was getting pulled from Steam because it's not very good. It had a positive rating, but that was mainly because of the fact that there's so many people that are like super fanboys and girls over the Five Nights at Freddy's games, even though they're really just not good games. So what happened was on Monday, Scott, Mr. Cawthon, announced that he was pulling the game because people were disappointed in the game. Like, it wasn't finished. There was a lot of problems with it. And this is a quote from Polygon. So this article is available on Polygon. where he said, even though the game had a very positive rating of 87%, I was not satisfied with the reviews and ratings it was getting. For that reason, I've decided to remove the game from Steam. So basically what happened was he was reading through all the reviews, and all the positive reviews were probably just like, oh my god, I love this guy's games, and then he actually read through the negative reviews, which broke down like all the problems that the game had. He also confirmed that the game is going to be free once he decides to re-release it, which will be available through Game Jolt. And if you purchased Five Nights at Freddy's World, you can get a refund, and apparently there's going to be a system in place soon for getting a refund for that game. And I highly recommend you do it, and I recommend you don't buy the game, like these Five Nights at Freddy's games, until he changes his process for making these things. He even admitted to rushing this game. It wasn't due out until the middle of this month, the middle of February, and it's just a it's clearly just another money grab, and there's just so much stuff going on in the Five Nights at Freddy's world that I feel like, good for him. He's making a lot of money, but at this point, it's just a bunch of bad gaming predicated on, YouTuber fandom, and none of them are really that good. But I played one of them, and it's scary. It's got jump scares in it, but there's really no game involved. They're all pretty simple. They're all relatively short, and they're all very iterative. They're all basically the same thing in a different place. So, to each his own, I guess. But this just goes to show you that you can't keep rehashing the same crap and trying to force these games out as quickly as possible and expect it to go over very well. So good on him for making good, but at the same time, maybe you should slow down and take some time on a game. Maybe get a team together. Stop trying to make these games by yourself. That would be my opinion. But yeah, so keep an eye out if you purchased it and you're looking for a refund. There will be some kind of refund available. It lists. I'm assuming you can go check out the Five Nights at Freddy's. This says it was listed in a post on the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 community forum page. So yeah, I don't know anything about. I don't know what that's about. Just keep an eye on Steam. I'm sure you'll be able to get your refund if you so wish. Which, yeah, I would recommend doing it. The game's not complete. Get your money back and then get it for free whenever that happens. So like I said, I didn't play much. Did I even play any video games at all since the last episode? It's only been a couple days. Played a little bit more Diablo 3. New season started. That's always awesome. But no, I didn't really play anything else. Like I said, work's been absorbing all of my time. But I do have some cool games that have come out since the last episode that I wanted to talk about. So this first game, it's called Pro Pinball Ultra. It's in early access, no reviews, $14.99, and it's a pinball game simulator. We've all played these. However, I don't know if we really needed another pinball simulator, considering that there is Pinball FX2, which has been around for a few years. They continue to put out new tables. So and it's got a very positive rating. I mean, Pinball FX2 has 2,400 reviews, 89% positive, and you pay per table as opposed to just paying for the game. So it is free to download, so I would just check out Pinball FX. No offense to the guys working on Pro Pinball Ultra, but I just don't see a reason for it when we just have when we have Pinball FX2 out there. It does say that it has 4K resolution, so if you're one of those guys that are way into that, You know, you got that going for you. So, sure. Like, I don't really need another pinball game, but you can go check that out. And I just realized my hiccups had finally stopped. They stopped a little while ago. They probably just ruined it now. All right, so next game I'm going to talk about is there's another Warhammer 40K game. They continue to just keep putting these out, which is impressive to me that that Bandai, I think this one's Bandai Namco. I don't know if they're all the Warhammer 40K games are Bandai Namco, but they continue to keep putting these games out, and like I just don't know how. But they all hit early access, which is something that I find interesting for a bigger title like this. You know, really taking advantage of the early access program to work out bugs and stuff like that. So this is Warhammer 40K Eternal Crusade. Now, this has 415 reviews, 80% positive, which is impressive for an early access game, especially a 40K game, because a lot of the reviews for a lot of these early access ones, you know, tend to be fair to middling. And this one is, you know, very positive. It's only it's $40, which is a little bit expensive, but it's 20% off from its regular $50. And this is it's an action MMO, third person. There's vehicles. I haven't read any of the reviews for it to get a good idea of exactly what it's like, but I did watch the video, and it looks like a third-person action RPG style game. You know, running around doing your shit. The one thing I found interesting is like the user interface is relatively simple compared to like most MMOs, especially PC MMOs. There's not like hotbars everywhere. You don't have like, you know, a bunch of number keys at the bottom of your screen to click on. So you know, maybe it's just like a more simplified version of an MMO. It does have guns and stuff, so it looks like you're, you know, picking up weapons and ammo, more like a Destiny. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of abilities and stuff like that. It says the main focus is on the core combat experience, which the video does seem to indicate by it's just a lot of third-person shooting going on and people shooting machine guns and swinging around giant swords and whatnot. Let's see. Let's try to find. Oh God, man, they write a book, dude. Some of these things are crazy. Apparently, it's not very well optimized. This guy recommends if you have anything less than a GTX 960, you won't be able to run the game at 30 frames per second. So I'm sure that kind of stuff will be worked out. That's the point of early access, is for them to, you know, get a build out there for people to check out. But it seems like the positive reviews are, you know, pretty positive. A bunch of people have been following the game for a while. This guy's got a negative review, but again wrote a book. Extremely bare bones, poorly optimized. Well, yeah, I mean it's in early access for a reason, dude. I hate that. I hate people that use those excuses, like, you know, when they complain about the amount of content in an early access title, how poorly optimized it is. I mean, I know I did bitch about a lot about Arc, but you know, they are things that happen, and it's a big part of early access. So go check out Warhammer if you're into Warhammer games. You know, go check that out. I won't be paying that kind of money for it, but if you like the 40K, like the Warhammer 40K lore or like that world, you know, it's definitely worth checking out. Alright, so the next game is called Torment Tides of Numenera. I'm not sure what that is, but this is a sequel to Planescape Torment. So it's an action adventure. Well, it's an adventure RPG, top down, you know, 3/4 view. It's got 35 reviews, 91% positive, $45. Again, bit expensive, especially for for an early access title. I know we're just kind of spoiled, but and the early access program lately has been being used by bigger developers for this kind of stuff. So this is this is the same company that just crowdfunded Wasteland 2. So this is their follow-up to Wasteland 2, which was critically received very well. So I have no reason to believe that this isn't going to do well as well. So it's a traditional style point-and-click RPG, party management, etc., etc. If you've never played that kind of RPG, go watch some videos, see if it's something that you're into. I have to imagine this is going to turn out pretty well. They tend to have a good grasp on that style of RPG. If that's the kind of RPG you're looking for, it's a very searchy kind of RPG, and that's interesting. It's using the same tech from Pillars of Eternity, which was also these guys, Obsidian. I think, unless it's not actually them. So yeah, go check it out if you're into the old school style RPGs. It looks pretty cool. So the last early access game I grabbed is called Maximum Override. 17 reviews, 94% positive, $5.94, 15% off until February 1st. Now this is just a neat looking little game. It's very cartoony. So basically, you're in a city, and all the machines came to life, and your job is to destroy the city in any way you can. So kind of think of like Burnout Paradise, or I think it's Burnout Paradise. So you're just, destroying buildings, destroying cars, driving around, just destroying shit. It looks like the type of game that you would just like have a bunch of dumb fun with. It looks pretty awesome. So go check that out. It looks really cool. I just got a notification that apparently Alexander Ovechkin is going to miss Sunday's All-Star game to rest lower body injury after the game tonight. That kind of sucks. But can't not be injured. You can't be playing in basically a exposition. Exposition? No. Exhibition. God, I'm bad at English. Can't be playing an exhibition match while you're injured, although he seemed fine throughout the game, so it sounds like a load of shit to me, and he just doesn't want to play. Anyway, Maximum Override. Like I said, it looks cute. It's got a cartoony, colorful art style. It just looks fun. That's a cool looking robot. Yeah, go check that out. It's only $6. I will reach out to them, see if I can get my hands on a copy, take a review video for you guys. But that's it for early access games that have released. The last game I wanted to talk about, though, is this game called The Witness. So now this is what's the guy's name? Jonathan something. I can't remember his name. Let me see if I can find it on the website real quick. It's the guy that made Braid. The Witness. Jonathan Blow. There we go. I found it. So, so The Witness is a follow-up to the Braid. Not a actual sequel or anything, but it is the next game in this series of games for Jonathan Blow. So right now it's sitting at 411 reviews, 80% positive. It is $40, which is a little bit expensive for what I've read about this game. So if you don't know anything about Braid or any of those types of games, they're all puzzle games. Now, the way The Witness works is you're in it's a first-person view of an island. You're on an island, and you are solving puzzles. And the way you solve the puzzles, you walk up to these little computer monitors, and you just have to figure out what it's trying to ask you. So you're clicking on stuff and trying to follow wires to other terminals. It sounds really interesting. Now, from everything I understand, I read through some of the negative reviews and I read through some of the positive reviews, and it seems like if you like puzzle games where they are. Let me rephrase this. So the negative reviews complain about being, repetitive. Some people complained about it being too hard, where it seems like the developer's trying to torture you. And from what I understand is the way you want to play this game is, it's not like a brute force kind of game per se. It's additive. So basically, as you learn how to solve a certain section of puzzles, the knowledge you learn from doing those puzzles will carry on into different areas of the game. So everything that you're learning helps solve future puzzles. And after the tutorial section of the game, you can go wherever you want. So you're walking around this island, and you can solve puzzles as you walk up to them, as you find them. So of course it's going to be like kind of like if you played Dark Souls, where you're trying to figure out the path of least resistance. So you go one direction until dead end. I can't go any further. Why can't I go any further? You try to figure out why not. Then you backtrack a little bit. You go check a different direction, and you try to make your way through that direction, and you get further in that direction, and then you bounce back and forth until you can finally figure out the way to solve through an entire section, and progress throughout the game. Now, from what I understand, though, there's a lot of hidden stuff in this game as well, so I feel like a lot of people are only scratching the surface with the puzzles that are on the like the main puzzles. There's a lot of hidden puzzles, from what I understand. There's hidden sections of puzzles. I think the game looks really interesting. $40 does seem like a lot for a puzzle game to me, especially one that's presented in the way this is, where it's just like the island is essentially an overworld map, and all the puzzles actually just take place on like a tiny screen, like a little computer monitor. It seems pretty simple, but it looks really nice. Like everything I've seen of it, the game looks gorgeous. It's like a very nice looking game. The island is like just full of life, and just, I don't know, it's very pretty. I think this game's pretty awesome, but if you don't like aggravatingly hard puzzle games, I have a feeling, without having played this, I have a feeling that it's just not going to be the game for those kind of people, and I feel like those are the people leaving negative reviews. I think they're coming into this thinking that it's one thing, and it's not. It's basically just a series of progressively harder puzzles that you need to problem solve your way out. Get a piece of paper and a pen, and write down and like try to solve things. It's very hard, from what I understand, in a way that's ultimately satisfying, like a Dark Souls, where it's just like, you might attempt to kill the same boss over and over again, and eventually you figure out it's like, oh, well, I needed to do X and I was doing Y, and eventually you just figure that out, and once you figure it out, it's just everything locks and clicks into place, and you have this aha moment where all of a sudden you're just like, seamlessly killing that boss. And I feel like this game's kind of similar, where you're going to get to a section of puzzles, and you're going to be bashing your head against it, and eventually the one through line for that set of puzzles is going to just click, and when it does, it's going to be ultimately just incredibly satisfying. And that's what I like about these style of games. So this will be on my wish list. It'll be something that I'll pick up probably on a Steam sale or something, just because I can't imagine spending $40 on it right now. However, definitely going to be checking it out soon. But that's all I really got for you guys. The one last thing I did want to mention is the Division starts today, if you're listening to this, for Xbox, the Division beta. You can get a beta key by pre-ordering the game. So if you go to your local GameStop, just go put $5 down on the game. You'll get a key that prints out on your receipt, and then it runs through the rest of the weekend, starting on Friday for PlayStation 4 and PC. So if you want to just check out the beta, if you can't get your hands on a key, and for through other means, like if you didn't get one by signing up through Ubisoft, or if you didn't get one randomly from somebody else. Yeah, just go put $5 down at GameStop, get your beta key. If you play through the beta this weekend, this is what I plan on doing. If you play through the beta this weekend and you're not a fan of it, just go cancel your pre-order, get your $5 back, or put it towards something else. It's a cheap way to check out the game. They should really just make it an open beta. I'm not a big fan of these closed betas, especially on consoles. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Battlefield did it, and it made me realize that I didn't want to spend $60 on that game. So I think maybe that's what they're afraid of. But that game looks really cool, though, so I'm definitely going to spend the $5 and check it out. Although I do have a feeling that the beta may end up going open probably one of the last 2 days of the beta weekend, because the game does come out relatively soon. So I have a feeling they're going to want as many people playing the game as possible, maybe to stress test the servers or something. They might open it up on like Sunday or something like that. So keep an eye out for that if you don't pick up a key. I'll tweet about it, though. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at earlyaccesspc. Go click through the Amazon banner at earlyaccessmedia.com. You can... What is this? Somebody liked my post. You click through the Amazon banner, earlyaccessmedia.com, while it's still available. Bookmark it. Use it whenever you buy anything off of Amazon. It really does help out the show. If you want to get in touch with me, if you're a developer or a publisher that would like to set up an interview, like I said, I'm trying to schedule interviews for the podcast instead of just doing strictly these conversational ones. You can get in touch with me at earlyaccesspodcast@gmail.com, or just tweet at me on Twitter, and I will send me a friend, not a friend request. Follow me, I'll follow you back, and we can DM details that way as well. If you have any questions, same thing, earlyaccesspodcast@gmail.com. If there's any games you'd like me to take a look at, if you're a developer and you'd like me to check out your game, you can get in touch with me the same way. Other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys for the next episode, which will be this coming Monday. Enjoy the Division beta. Go support your indie developers. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Angelo with Early Access Podcasts. Don't forget, it should be awesome. See you next time.